Meant to ask, was it just Minty or has this most recent chapter been horrendously flat? Like the sword, oh sorry, like seriously, felt literally nothing the whole story except when Belle activated her Chunibyo powers in the Sword Chronicles when looking at Fufu's, Ishen's Panyin who's passed. Vividly remember laughing your ass off with meeting Bellabog and the Cunning Hairs. Oh man. So let me. Lately, you've just been feeling like, okay, they're there. Okay, so I will say first off, yes, I totally agree. This last chapter was a flop. Like they made it to be like the climax of this season, and it just was not there. It was so forced and conveniently set up. It made no sense. It didn't move me at all. So much to the point that I made a whole thread on Blue Sky with my critiques about it. There we go. There it is. Sons of Caledon is kind of an exception if Lucy and Piper don't exist. Right? It was so forced. Felt no tension whatsoever. Yeah. Let's let me read you my thought over here. So overall, pacing was bad. The sappy parts lingered too long, while the action ended in a heartbeat. And by this I mean like the final boss fight. It was so quick, it was over in a blink of an eye. And honestly, this has been an issue since like the season 1 epilogue. Like with Vivian and Hugo's story. And I remember like people complained that the TV mode back in the day made the gameplay slow, but in this chapter, I found myself sitting on a blank, dark loading screen for like a solid 2 minutes, only for like a 5-second cutscene, an animated cutscene to play. And it felt so sluggish. It was so bad. Despise this new boss. It took me a minute to get used to it, but I still don't like it. Yeah. It took, yes, go on, 5 whole hours. Yeah, I thought you were continuing with that. To complete that nothing burger of a chapter. Right. For sure. So yeah, pacing made it feel even longer than that if you weren't flying through the dialogue. And then, I'm tired of the unexplained powers that we just have to accept and swallow without question. Except for seeing Belle Wise and that Lucius guy. Yeah. Like, first we had Vivian with her unexplained, whatchamacallit? Not foresight. Clairvoyancy. I was like, okay, that came out of nowhere. Why does she have that power? They didn't fucking justify it. We just had to accept it. And they tried to put it into the story, but it didn't go anywhere. It didn't affect anything. They still haven't touched on that ever since. And then I played Seed's agent story. She apparently also has a hidden power where if she gets too emotional or something like really overwhelms her, like she can't handle the concept of something, she causes machinery around her to explode, like Mob Psycho style. And I was like, why? Why is that a thing? Why does she do that? They didn't fucking touch on that. They didn't dig deeper. Now, Dialin has the ability to listen. She can hear deceased people's voices in the hollows. And maybe I missed something. Maybe I flew through that part too fast. Maybe I did. Maybe it's because I wasn't reading all of the agent like trust events. But I'm like, why? What was she like corrupted in the hollow, and so she hears stuff now, or what? They didn't really go into that either. And now in this latest chapter, the Yi siblings, Shiyuan and Xinguang, they have what I call DID, but they have basically split personalities. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting, but why did they full on transform? Like, why did they have a whole magical girl transformation? And fucking Xinguang quote was like, it's just something us siblings do. What? What kind of justification is that? It could, like, these things could have been explained as simply as something like, it's because they're a thyron, or it's because they were traumatized. But even then, why are they adding these tropes if they're not going to affect the whole story or the combat experience anyway? Xinguang does use it in combat, but like, it's visuals. Oh, it's just my other part of my personality that looks differently than me for some reason. Exactly! Why? What the fuck is this? Oh. Hold on, there's still a whole thread here. Like, what kind of fan service is this? Yeah! Let's see. So, we mentioned the final boss. Oh, speaking of fan service, oh dear. Continue? Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, the final boss battle sucked. I kept getting hit because, first of all, there were so many tutorial texts to read in between the attacks, so I could not stay focused on the dodging. You're too heated! Sorry, me too. I have strong feelings about this. There were way too many texts to read. So many instructions. What are we yapping about? Hello, Hunlar. Got a lot of new faces tonight. I am ranting. We are ranting about Zenless Zone Zero currently. The 2.5 chapter really got us agitated. Yeah, so many tutorials. And then why the fuck did the devs think that removing the dodge/parry flash cues would make it more fun? It's just, that's the whole point of the gameplay. Like, they probably aimed for a unique fighting experience, but it just turned into a miserable one. Oh, you just finished 2.2. That's not too far back. This is a spoiler-free rant. So far, I'm trying. Okay, so this... Hey, this whole boss gameplay revolves around dodging, but we're gonna limit it now. Okay, have fun. Yeah. Yeah, for real. Like, this game was designed to be more rhythmic and stylish by dodging and parrying, but they took away that. So now you have to pay attention and, like, try to judge the timing. I don't know. It was... it took me a minute. Can't even parry. Well, you have to dodge the first swing, and then you have to parry all the rest. But if you fuck up that first starting swing, you're over. It's done. Yeah, that was bad. Okay, so this isn't if you miss that one frame, it's over. Exactly. It sucks. You can't even redeem it. Why would they do that? It's just miserable. Skill issue, as people say. This isn't a spoiler because we all know that the Qingming sword drains their sword wielders' senses and memories until they turn into like an actual husk, like a living husk. Boss has been kind of shit lately, not gonna lie. Yeah. Outside of the main story, they're just too tanky. It's been really hard to get higher scores in endgame content. Chicken wing sword is Qingming sword. So we all know Xinguang is trying to avoid the negative effects of the Qingming sword, and that's the whole part. That's the whole point of chapter 2.5. It's the proxies and Yongkui Summit people trying to help Xinguang not fall to the curse. So my complaint is, my critique for the devs, the writers, is to quit hinting at character death for playable agents. Stop it. It's like when in The Little Mermaid 2, they played it like Ariel was going to die. That can't happen because we know The Little Mermaid was a prequel to the actual Little Mermaid, so the main character can't die. Been saying this since Haramasa. Yeah, Haramasa I could forgive. Like, I knew that one would have some kind of reasonable explanation. But like, freaking Vivian, Hugo, and now Shungwen, they have the thickest plot armor because if they died in the main story, they wouldn't be playable. It would make no sense for us to have them in the roster. So fucking stop it. Stop playing like they're going to die. Sorry guys, Yi Shungwen died and we're revoking your M6. That'd be so funny, honestly. Hey, Shungwen fell victim to the Qingming sword and she has lost all her memories, therefore her passives are all gone. Start over! God, can you imagine that kind of grind? That's hilarious. Okay, and then... Don't know if you've ever seen me so heated. Oh, bruh. Bruh, this game is... It's like, I get heated because I want it to succeed, and yet it goes in the opposite direction every time. And man, I kept seeing people on HoYoLab saying that Shi Yuan really carried the story, and I had to agree. Yeah, he did so much heavy lifting. The way he revealed everything in the chapter just kicked things into gear all of a sudden, and it was like... He wasn't a character, he was more of a plot device. Which was unfortunate. And there were too many twists this chapter. I won't explain which ones, but like, one chapter doesn't need more than 2 twists. It was just so, it just increasingly was underwhelming every time the reveal happened. I was like, oh yeah, that's a twist. Oh, okay, I guess that's also a reveal. Oh, okay, this is happening? Sure. It sucks. It's a Stockholm syndrome, yeah, kinda. It's along those lines. And then this isn't specific to the story, but while playing that main chapter in battle, when I manually switched, what was it? Let's see. When I had Shungwen on the field and then I switched into Zhao manually, I noticed that the Japanese voice line for Zhao had something specific. Hey, Hunlord, thank you for following my rants. Whoa, follower goal met. I met my goal. I'm at 70. Whoa, whoa, really? When did that happen? Goal met. Yay! Yo, goal. Whoa, that's crazy. Whoa, I didn't know that animation happened. How cute. Whoa, thank you guys so much. I thought I was at still like 64 or something. That's crazy. Yatta! I'm getting a lobotomy from Anton. But yeah, Zhao... Oh, there we go. There's a celebratory sticker. Yeah, party! Sticker party! Oh man, I gotta update my streamer goals for next week then. All the stickers. I noticed that Zhao in Japanese has a specific voice line for Shungwen. But that doesn't make sense gameplay wise, because Zhao isn't in the same faction. Oh, missed that mustache, too bad. Yeah, like, I get that Zhao was really close to Shungwen in the main chapter, but they're not in the same faction, so they theoretically shouldn't synergize. They shouldn't have that kind of interaction, in my opinion. And also, Zhao doesn't actually have a squad bonus with her own teammates, so squad mates. So I was kind of disappointed that Zhao was made to be a dedicated support for Xingguang from the start, even though she's a completely different team. Don't know what was up with that either, right? Yeah. I was like, wait, did she just did Zhao actually say Xingguang right now? But then recently when I played Zhao with Dial-In, Zhao actually has some lines with her too, so I don't know. It's strange. Now on top of Horde story, we have Horde synergies. Yeah. And then I didn't spell this out in my venting thread, but as everybody has pointed out, I hate that they forced the main characters to go on a date with Xingguang and subsequently act like lovers the whole time. It was so forced. It was gross. I played I play as Belle, so it wasn't nearly as romantic coded, but like everybody who played Wise was like, oh my god, this is just canon. Wise and Xingguang, this is like the actual ship. This is the main official ship now, and I'm like, oh god, I haven't even thought about that. From my end, it was just Belle and Xingguang being like really close girly pops. But oh man, it was so bad. They're like, hey, remember all these stakes that Xingguang has to face as the Qingming sword wielder? Let's forget that and go on a date with the skin that's on sale right now. You can buy it for 20 bucks. See how cute it is? You were playing through the story as Belle and all you could think was they're so gay. It was so gay. Isn't especially yeah. That's probably why they were acting so gay. They were like, it's fate, it was always you. You're the one who's going to save me. If you're by my side, I know I'll be okay. Like, oh my god. Gay people in my Chinese media? Oh my gosh. It's more likely than you think, like for real. Have you not seen any of the gay historical dramas? With the two guys? You know. Says Lex, there it is. Oh my god. And when I'm around you, I feel like I can do anything. Leave your dress clothes, girl. We're literally trying to save you right now. Yeah. Yeah, that was so out of nowhere. Like, back in 1.5? I think it was 1.5. For the finale of season 1, the devs really were like promoting Miyabi as like the new main character, and it was a little annoying in some parts, but it really worked for the story because like Bringer was like her arch nemesis, and we got to see her make a deal with Tailless and all that. Here they're just forcing Xingguang to be the next waifu. And my biggest problem this whole season is this started from the season 1 epilogue, but like the freaking Deus Ex Machina that keeps happening to the proxies. You dislike that? Thank you. Yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable. She had a whole internet article to herself and everything. Oh, Miyabi, right. Miyabi event on the White City or whatever it was. Miyabi and Section 6. The pale, what was it called? The Pale City. I just remember it as Milanoi, but Milanoi. Meanwhile, Yi's event was getting into the fucking time capsule of the sword, and Belle is there for some reason. It's so weird. Right! Exactly! That make sense. They justified it as like it's part of the holo. Why is she here? Yeah! It's part of the holo and you can get sucked into the history of the Qingming sword. I'm like, okay, sure. But yeah, if she's not part of the sword, why is the proxy there? Glad to yeah. I also don't like the execution of that event. They reused the Yonkoi Summit agent models for the previous sword wielders, and it confused me. Like, then that was and that was part of the story. Yes, like that was part of the comedy. I get it, but like it just felt lazy. And then I was just about to say that about the fan service. That's why you wanted to talk about? Ooh, what fan service? You wanted to see that bad Jufufu so badly. She looks like so cool in the arts. Right, yeah. I wanted to see the sister. I was like, you could have made Yishen's sister as a 3D model and you didn't! You didn't. You had all the opportunity. You had all this time to build up to this moment and you didn't give it to us. You even had a voice actor assigned to her in Yishen's agent demo video. You have the materials. Oh, excuse me. They pulled a fucking Genshin Impact. What do you mean? Wanted to see Yi Zheng and Jufufu's ancestor. Yeah, exactly. I would have loved to see Pan's counterpart. Because right now Pan's the only panda thyron we have for visuals, so like I want to see what a different, more meek panda thyron would have been like. Also, if they actually manage to dismiss the Qingming sword, side effects will be so weird. Like, hey Yishen, your sister died in vain. We could have done this instead. That was my question the whole time I was playing that chapter. I was like, how in the world are they going to justify, like, explain how she doesn't fall to the Qingming sword? Like, how is she cursed by such a heavy burden, but still playable as an agent? And by that I mean like repeatedly using her in every hard stage and endgame content. And then they really didn't do much with it. They were like, oh, there's a reset button, but it's still there, so we still have to keep working on finding a solution for it, and they actually didn't. 99% they will, and it's gonna make you so mad. The fuck was that story for that? Yeah, what was all this work for? With how much she uses it on her new Void Hunter missions, she should be dead. Yeah, exactly. It just, that ties back into my note about the plot armor thing. Like, if she's going to be hinted as a dying character, quit making her use said weapon. Actually so upset about Yi Zheng and Jufufu's ancestor. What was it called? The Mad Tiger? The Bad Tiger? You were looking forward to that lore. I think they would have looked so cool. Yeah. The Mad Tiger. Okay, thanks. Yeah, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. We get to hear Yishen, but kind of act in a different way. Like, I was amused at first, and then I heard the explanation as to why it's the Yonkoi Summit members, but not really, and I was like, oh, they were just lazy. I'm suddenly not interested in this anymore. So I stopped paying close attention to that sort of stuff. Ran around, collected everything for the achievement. A big angry Jufufu big sister that's just trying to be her best for the people. Yeah, and an older Yishen. God. Also, what was the ending of the bad Fufu? You killed the boss too quickly in the dialogue. How did she die? Oh man, Minty. Minty is losing control. I believe... Don't laugh, I was so sad. I'm sorry, but like, that keeps happening to me too, so I feel your pain. I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you. Yeah, I believe all three of the previous sword wielders ended up dead one way or another. Yeah, that was the other thing though. I played Jufufu's agent story when it came out and I was so confused. They all fucking died. Except for Xingguang somehow. I was so confused by Jufufu's lore because they explained the history of the Tiger Thyrans and how they were basically wiped out in a hollow disaster, but they're looking after this. They're chasing this one Wenjin that supposedly consumes other Tiger Thyrans that are on the verge of extinction to make themselves stronger. And I'm like, why would you do that? Do you not want to rebuild your clan? Like, what? Why are you destroying yourself? One for all as sword, yeah. Yeah, man. And they're apparently just all here? Didn't you all get wiped? The whole thing just, yeah. Some people explain that the Jufufu agent story was supposed to be like a little tongue-in-cheek poke at typical kung fu movies, but not having that context, it made no sense. And even with the context, I'm like, that doesn't help the character though. Oh man. And I have a question for y'all. I've been meaning to like ask in the Outpost chat, but you guys know about the antique shop that opened up where you can get collectibles and mystery points, I think they called it. Reuse character models, yeah. Yeah, so for the Buyan antique shop, I'm still missing the last collectible from the Lumite mine. And I'm wondering, do I need to have Xingguang in order to get that last piece? Because if so, I'm going to be very mad. What antique shop? There's an orange cat Thyran named Ginger who runs an antique shop right outside of Yamchasin in the Waifei Peninsula. They opened it up for this latest update as like a collectibles stop. So when you explore the newer parts of the Lemnian Hollow, you can gather collectibles and pieces of lore here and there. World building, yay. And that gets sent to the antique shop and you see the percentage go up. And there's an achievement to gather everything in that hollow and for the antique shop, but I'm missing the last piece. And there's this one section in the Lumite ore that isn't accessible unless you have Xingguang, which I don't. So I've been wondering, is that exclusive to Xingguang? Do I have to pull for her to get that last piece? Did they make an achievement? Did they make this achievement only possible for Xingguang havers? Because that is like so unfair. You can't even play trial agents in the Lemnian Hollow, so it doesn't make sense to me. Why would they do that? It's an actual paywall. If they did, you'll actually be so upset. I'm starting to think it is. And I've been like slowly trying to pull for Xingguang, but it's not working. That's what you were going to ask, like trial versions. Trial versions, yeah, they don't do the trial agents in the Lemnian Hollow of all places. I feel like they should. Why don't I have her though? That's because I spent all my savings on Banyue. himself. It took me double pity. I lost the 50-50 and then had to hit another soft pity to get Banyue, so that's where all of my polychromes went. And then I spent a good chunk of that leftover polychromes for Zhao's Wenjin. So right now I'm just... The Lion Care is not for my economy. Well, he was worth it. I love him so much. He's like he is actually my new main. Yeah, I've been like scraping together whatever polychromes I can here and there and using it to try getting Shunguang, but it's not showing up. Zhao's Wenjin before the Void Hunter is low-key based? I didn't even look into what Shunguang's Wenjin does. Dylan came happily though and... Oh yeah, you spent all your savings on Banyu and Yishin. Dylan came happily though and Yishin tricked you, then came back a second time. I remember you saying that in the outpost. Ooh, excuse me. Yep, Shunguang and her Wenjin plus Zhao just need her Wenjin. Good luck with that. Oh, you skipped Dylan. I actually had the regret. That's too bad. Hopefully she'll rerun soon, maybe? I mean, Ju Fufu reran in the same season, so it's possible. Yeah, I have the whole Krampus crew now. I love it. Zhao's just so stinking cute. They did a great job with their animation. Banyue's fun, although I wish Banyue was stronger given how complicated his combos can be. There's so much to remember and do for him, but he doesn't deal as much damage as it looks like. Dylan is very versatile. I've been relying on her a lot in most squads. Words cannot express how much you love alt spamming. Yeah, it's great. Took me a minute to get used to like the order of chain attacks with Dylan in between, but oh man, it's great. Banyue requires you to learn Tekken combos for 1/8 if the boss HP. 1/8 of the boss HP. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Dylan is the most power creep we ever got in Zenless. I don't know about that. I feel like Nekomata got power crept really quickly. We got so many strong physical agents early on. I keep forgetting that Nekomata is an S. And everybody hates her. She keeps stealing the 50-50 for everybody. Hell, my Billy has been doing more damage than Nekomata does, but I've poured all of my time and resources into building him. So yeah, the latest chapter was not good. They keep doing Deus Ex Machina moments with the proxies because they have some kind of special power in their eye, apparently. I hate that they've started going into the hollows. Oh, you heard somewhere that Zhao's little fall animation deals damage, so if you have a boss on like 0.1 HP, try that out. That's hilarious. Kind of want to do that. I know exactly which animation you mean. That's my favorite. Miss your Eos. Yeah. Baby Eos. She falls and the boss dies. That's awesome. I wonder how people figure that out. I'm curious now. I could go on about this, but should probably wrap up here in a minute. Getting late for everybody.